Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats here at Hotdocs in downtown Toronto with the co-producer and co-director of Remote Area Medical, Farihah Zaman. How does it feel to be here at Hotdocs?
Fantastic. It's my first time at Hotdocs, and I've come to Toronto before for TIFF, and this is such a special way to come back to the city.
Great. What was it like working with your co-director, co-producer, Jeff?
And incidentally, also my husband. So, so we have a very, very intimate working relationship. It's great. I think actually before we got married, one of the things I said was, well, if we can work together, then this is easy. Yeah, we'd already sort of determined that we are kind of good at different things, and so we're able to specialize when we're on set. And there's also very little arguing on set because there's just sort of, everything's an emergency, so you immediately know we have to go this way, and it's fine. We have a little more debate in terms of the editing, but I think that's a good thing too, when you're comfortable saying, let's just try this and see what happens.
Absolutely. How did you initially find out about RAM, and what inspired you to make the film?
That's interesting. It actually has a bit of a family connection too, because Jeff and I had been talking about how frustrating it was, the way that healthcare was discussed in the news in the U.S. It's really, really it's all politics, policy, statistics, and it's understandable because it's a hot button issue right now, but you don't really get the sense that this is about human beings. And around that time, his Aunt Sue, who's a retired nurse living in New Jersey, saw a piece about the organization Remote Area Medical on the news or something, just like a little 5-minute clip, and decided she had to go. She had never traveled alone and just had hip replacement surgery and said, I have to do this. She went to a clinic in Tennessee, which is very close to where we ended up shooting our film, and came back and said, you have to see it for yourself. I understand something about the situation that I could not have possibly understood just from being told. I had to see it. And we volunteered at a clinic ourselves and found that to be the case.
Were you blown away by sort of the need in America when you first went to a RAM clinic?
Definitely. And that is what inspired us to make the film, just sort of the absolute shock. I really felt as though I didn't understand until now the depth of need and also the nature of the healthcare crisis, because you have this sort of idea of a lot of people, let's say in urban areas, are living without health care, but they have recourse to an emergency room, or you think that if you suddenly have a horrible disease, if you are diagnosed with cancer, how are you going to pay for that if you don't have insurance? And here we were in a situation seeing that many, many, many Americans don't even have that. It's not, what if I have cancer? It's, I haven't seen a dentist in 20 years, and now the best possible thing for me to have done is all my teeth pulled out. That was really shocking.
Are there any individuals in particular that really stand out for you that you encountered throughout the making of the film?
I think one of the people who audiences have really been responding to, and who I really responded to in meeting her. Her name is Val, and she appears in the film because she, has no insurance, hasn't had insurance for over a decade, and she has actually a congenital dental issue that creates abscesses in the teeth, so her teeth are all breaking off. And, one of the reasons why I think she captures people is not just because she's a really, engaging person, very smart, very articulate, but also because she's a perfect example of somebody who works and works hard, and it's just not good enough. It's difficult for her to go to a clinic like this. She talks about having pride and how she had to swallow her pride in order to just do what's necessary to not be in pain anymore. And she also talks about how it's hard to get a job when your teeth are not good looking, because people assume there are reasons why. It's something that I hadn't thought about, the implications of healthcare beyond just physical pain, that you can't work, you can't take care of your family. And I think she really brings that to life for people.
And how have audiences been responding to the film?
I think with the same shock that I had and that Jeff had when we first volunteered at a RAM clinic, and that's something that we've noticed both in the States and here in Toronto. It's actually the first time we've screened the film outside of the U.S. It's our international premiere, and I think if anything, there's even more shock because while you don't have dental and vision, at least there's basic medical coverage for people. So that idea that you have to sleep in a parking lot overnight to go get your blood pressure checked, makes people really angry.
And what can we do as audience members and civilians to help with RAM and raising awareness on this important issue.
Yeah, if you're interested in volunteering for RAM specifically, you can go to their website at ramusa.org and volunteer. It's a really amazing experience. And then you can also sort of be in touch with them about how to do something like that here. Somebody was asking about that because, again, like I imagine places on the reservation or more rural areas do have issues with dental, even in Canada. And then our website isn't up yet, but you can visit our Facebook page, Remote Area Medical Movie, on Facebook, and we keep updating on how to sort of like get involved and the next steps after seeing the film.
Thank you so much. Congratulations and best of luck with the film.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats here at Hotdocs in downtown Toronto.